Hi, Bad Dad here. Here to talk about backing up your system and the reason why it's a good idea to do it all the time. It's my number one thing to do for other people is recover their files or have to tell them the bad news they didn't back up so that their files are gone. Plus, I'm going to put an SSD in my game machine, which I've mounted on this drive cage that mounts externally. Just push it in, it's on. And you can see it's very small compared to this baby right here, which actually fits in this. Okay, they both fit in here, but this one takes up the whole space. And this is 4 terabyte drive that I'm going to replace my 3 terabyte drives with. In here I have a rule where once I pass 50% and I'm heading towards 2/3 of the drive full, it's time to start shopping for one. And another good reason why is I've been having problems with my D drive, which is a file drive, intermittently not starting, dropping out, causing access errors. So it's time to get it out of there and replace it with these 4 terabytes. There's 2 of them in there. One is the file drive that has all the programs on it. The other one is a backup of that drive, which also contains a backup of the C drive, the boot drive, so that everything is backed up. The system is redundant. If it fails, it would take a total catastrophe for this thing to fail, like it burned in a fire or something. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to power down the system and power it back up to see what the boot time is, time to booting, to see if this SSD is going to make a difference, because the one that's in there now, the boot drive that's in there now, is a Velociraptor 10,000 RPM drive. And it's a good drive, there's nothing wrong with it. I just want to see the comparison, because I think Windows has helped a lot, in Windows 10 especially, in the boot up times on systems. And if I'll notice if this has made a difference or not. I'll just use that drive in say my main machine, which doesn't need that much performance, but it's nice to have it boot a little faster. All this faster drives. And then the 3 terabyte drives, I ordered another 3 terabyte drive for the one I'm taking out of here. It's not working so good. And I'm going to take the those two 3 terabyte drives, and I'm going to put them in my backup game machine, which only has 1 terabyte drives in them now, no space. So I can put more games on that one. And this one here has a lot of video editing files on it. That's why a lot of disk space is taken up. And my main machine has 2 terabyte drives in it. So I have different drive, and my media machine has 1 terabyte drives. So each machine has a different reason for being, so to speak, and reason for capacity, but each one of them is set up so that the file drive is backed up onto a backup drive internally, and the C drive is backed up onto the D drive. So that if any one of them has a failure, I'm able to recover from fairly quickly and without any data loss. It's cheaper to do it this way than buying cloud time or anything else, other than if you want to put a NAS in your home where all your files are stored on one RAID system, that's fine too. But for me, this works just because each machine, like I say, is kind of is a dedicated build to itself. Okay, so right now I'm gonna get the system ready and do the timing, and we'll see what happens. All right, now I'm gonna time it with my trusty stopwatch here. Power on as soon as start this as soon as I hit the power button. Great. Right now, this is all hardware. Now you hear the beep's gotten past the hardware. That was 16 seconds. Now we're seeing some more hardware interrogation in the machine. Now you're seeing Windows and looking at it. Alright, so it took 1 minute and 3 seconds for it to get to this point where it's sign on. Now we'll time it from here. So so far we've got 1 minute and 3 seconds. Desktop 1 minute and 17 seconds, so that's another 10 seconds. And now there are programs that I have start up at the beginning. Some of them are on the C drive, others are on the D drive, so it's access times on the D drive I think are a little slow. I think that's the other problem with the booting too. We'll find that out as soon as we get it up here. So I'll have a E264 sensor meter display that comes up last. That's the last thing that gets put up there, and that tells me it's completely up. It's so far now we're at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Getting to desktop is one thing, but then you've got all the programs to load up. I can access files, I can start up things now. I don't have to wait, but I'm just doing this to see how long it takes to get the last program loaded. Steam was coming up there too. That's I don't know, Steam just is slow, period. Now here you see the ETA64 screen. It's not quite there yet. There it is. It's there. So we've got damn it, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. All right, I've got the solid state drive or the SSD and as the boot drive now, and I replaced the 2 3 gigabytes with the 4 gigabyte drives, and now we're going to see how it boots up and see if it made a difference in boot up time. Let me get my phone ready here. Put my stopwatch on it. Okay, so I'm going to power this on and hit start on the stopwatch at the same time. I think before it got to the sign-on screen at approximately it took six there. First hardware beep was at 18 seconds. And we're at the sign-on screen in 40 seconds. Okay, so now and we're going to start this again. almost instantly to the desktop. What I'm looking for is the gauge, the ADA gauge pod. Because I have all these other things booting up, and there it is. It took 1 minute and 3 seconds as compared to 2 minutes and 45 seconds before, which is a huge difference in boot up time. I think part of that, it wasn't so much that the Velociraptor wasn't a fast drive, is that I was having drive D problems, and I would have a squealing when I was running the games. I would have this squealing. Now I don't have that squealing anymore, and I'm pretty positive it was drive D that was the culprit. But now that's all changed, they're all up to date. That's this machine. Here's the game machine booting up from start. You can see it has an external radiator, 4 fans. I found that more area is more beneficial than a thick radiator. Keeps it very cool even on the hottest days. You can see it's just, you heard the hardware beat. Now it's going to go to the desktop fairly quickly here. There's your Windows, and yep, here's the sign-on screen, or the lock screen. But this machine, which is in the same room the main game machine is in, this first machine I power up in the morning, and I took the Velociraptor out of the game machine that I replaced with a solid-state drive, and put it in this machine, and it helped quite a bit in its boot up time also. It's almost instantly to the desktop. Don't wait for anything. And this display is a 23-inch 120 hertz gaming display that I can do 3D on, which I can do with this machine. Even though I don't have a really big graphics card in a 750 Ti, it handles it pretty good. Also connected to it are my carousels, my movie carousels, that I keep programs on the machine to access where my movies are at. So it's a pretty nice setup. And again, I'm going to go back to stressing that I have two 2 terabyte drives in this machine, like I have 2 4 terabyte drives in my game machine. The size is dependent on what I do with the machine, and this machine has a lot of important information on it. That second drive, the backup drive to the file drive, and then the file drive having the backup of the boot drive on it, giving me the ability to recover quickly if something should go wrong. I cannot stress enough, backup game machine. In a moment we're going to boot it up and see how quickly it comes up. It's fairly fast. It has an X79 motherboard in it. You can see here it has an external radiator, three fan radiator, and it's water cooled as the other one. So let's move in and see how she boots up. Okay, Power up. Pretty quick. This 27-inch 120 hertz monitor, which you can do 3D gaming with. And of course, this pad right here is my gaming pad that I use for gaming on this machine. And it's also a machine my son uses when he comes up here. So we'll see. Here, let's shut her down. And it's down. My media machine here. I'll get over here and give you a perspective of it. You can kind of see just how large this screen is. It's 82 inches. And here's the media machine down here. Now I'm going to boot this up, and I think before even the TV gets all the way up, this machine will be up. So I'll start the TV. Okay, get that started. Power on. And we'll see how long she comes up. There's the hardware beep. Here's the Mitsubishi welcome screen. And there you see a window on there already. TV hasn't come up to full brightness yet. And there you got a desktop. You see the screen still brightening up. This one has i5 2500K in it, overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz, and it's really a fantastic processor. It's going to last for a long time. And those are the four machines that I'm most concerned with.